Senator Mazie, by the way, Mazie, I told my granddaughter, whose name is Mazie as well, she said, that's why I like her. Anyway, but her name is Mazie as well.
Senator Hirono, who I said the president spoke to just last night, he thanked the president for the immediate support of federal agencies have delivered for residents of Hawaii.
Hirono, he thanked the president.
America's dumbest senator, Mazie Hirono of Hawaii.
I think that we very much need to acknowledge that climate change is upon us. There are whole states, by the way, Jake, where you can't even use the words climate change.
Silence! I kill you!
Because they still have a head in the sand attitude. But for example, the Inflation Reduction Act provided some $300 billion to combat climate change and to move us away from continuing reliance on fossil fuels.
There is no more drilling. I haven't formed any new drilling.
That's not an accurate take on the president's view.
Earlier this month, he said no more drilling. There is no more drilling.
The president has issued 9,000 permits for drilling on U.S. federal lands.
But kiddo, I want you to just take a look, okay? You don't have to agree. But I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate.
And what about fracking?
All right, let me allow Vice President Biden to respond.
I never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did show the tape.
Well, like, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping new pipeline infrastructure and creating the incentives to transition?
Well, there's overwhelming incentives.
Just to clarify, would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those. Any fossil fuel.
One final question.
Would he close down the oil industry?
It falls.
Would you close down the oil industry?
By the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I will
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement because I would stop.
Why would you do that?
Because the oil industry pollutes significantly.
I see.
Here's the deal. But
that's
you
a
can't
big
do
statement.
That. Well, if you let me finish the statement.
One of the books that is being sought or challenged in Iowa is a book called Ho'onani Hula Warrior. This is a book about a child who doesn't see herself as a girl or a boy, but something in between. And this child dreams of leading the hula group, but everyone else thinks that only the boys should lead the hula group. And Native Hawaiians have traditionally recognized the existence of a third gender called mahu, and this book explores this and many other parts of Native Hawaiian culture.
It's not like, a kid wakes up one morning and says, I decided I want to become a man, or I want to become a woman, or I want to change. I mean, what are they thinking about here? They're human beings. They love, they have feelings, they have inclinations that are, it just to me is, I don't know, it's cruel. And the way we do it is we make sure we pass legislation like we passed on same-sex marriage. You mess with that, you're breaking the law, and you're going to be held accountable.
Right to jail, right away.
Yet this book could potentially be banned, as I mentioned, from a school district in Iowa.
This on top of an agenda to ban books and to prevent students from learning our true and full history. Can you imagine book bans in this year of our Lord 2023?
For running afoul of a law against books for younger grades that deal with gender identity. Originalism, the justices who take that approach go all the way back to our founding fathers and pretend that they know what our founding fathers meant when they drafted the Constitution. I use the word pretend because who the heck would know?
Why do you shamelessly waste my time like this? I don't know.
What our founding fathers meant. Is there any reference to AR-15 rifles in our Constitution? No.
I'm going to get assault weapons ban. Before this is over, I'm going to get that again. Not a joke. And watch, and watch, and watch.
The word hypocrites, it doesn't even go far enough to call them out on what they're doing. This is an outright attack on women in this country.
What is a woman?
That is how I see it. That is how more and more women.
Can you tell me what a woman is?
And those who support our right to make decisions about our own bodies. That is how we see it. And why? Because that's what's happening. Madam President, I yield the floor, but clearly, this is a literally call to arms in our country. Call to arms.
If you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun, have the shells, a 12-gauge shotgun, and I promise you, as I told my wife, we live in an area that's wooded and somewhat secluded. I said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house. I promise you, who's ever coming in is not going to, you don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim, it's harder to use, and in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
I mean,